That was something. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are now live to the world. Hello everyone. How are you all doing? So that was a race. In generous terms, it was it was a race. No, it wasn't that bad. Okay, like I'll be honest. At the time, didn't think that was too hot. Is this working? This doesn't appear to be working. Alright, why is that not working? Do I need to interact with it to make it work? Do I have to... Oh, I don't know why that's not working. So let's just not use that one. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? That was a race. I mean, I don't really know what to make out already. I mean, look, we said the Red Bull was going to be strong. I expected them to be probably that strong as well, to be honest. It's just when you actually see it, a little bit depressing. It could be a bit of a long season. Just a little bit of a longish season. So, but like I say, we sort of knew this was going to happen. But you know, that's rough. McLaren self-destruct. Pierre Gasly should have won driver of the day. I know Gasly had an immense drive. I have no idea how he didn't get driver of the day. I mean, look, Alonso's put that car exactly where it should have been based on that result. So yes, Alonso did a great drive, and some of the racecraft was absolutely amazing, and that shows why I like Fernando Alonso so much, is because his racecraft is just so good. And we definitely saw that today, how good that racecraft can be. So we saw on that front, yeah, Fernando Alonso did a great job, but Gasly really, in a car in that Alpine that really doesn't look too hot right now, did a great job. Really seems to do a good job. So let's go and sleep. A good fantasy points on RaceBeacon from 92, I don't know, maybe 150. Yeah, I'm not sure how my fantasy teams coped with that, because I'm going to be honest, right? What the hell happened with Haas? What the hell happened to the Haas cars? They're the two drivers in my two main teams. Okay, so that's not... What's happened there is it's not gone well. Yeah, no, but that for Haas has been absolutely terrible. I've no idea what that was all about. No pace whatsoever in the race. And yeah, so basically they're immediately getting evicted from my teams because, wow, that was a stinker. And for me, it was between them and Alfa Romeo, but both of them had pretty big stinkers, but the Haas stinker was a lot bigger than the Alfa Romeo stinker, so that's even more annoying. Confusing Lando for Fernando hurts him. Yeah, no, sorry. Williams is not last. Williams looks quick. The Williams looks like it's got some really serious pace. Norris worked hard to keep it running to the end. Yeah, and you know, he also kept it up with that main battle up front. And for Lando, you know what? I'll absolutely take that. He kept that battle going. Obviously, he was lapped, which was, you know, a slight downside, but overall kept it going pretty well. Red Bull win so boring. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest here right now, lads. We might need to get used to the Red Bull wins this year, because I was hoping they'd be about half a second a lap quicker than everyone else. You know, for the sake of the season, I was hoping it would sort of start the year about half a second quicker than everyone else, and then you know, I was hoping it'd be a closable gap. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I'm not sure a second a lap in the race is. I don't think there's anything any of the other teams can do about that. And yes, I will show this graph again because I stand by it. They're going to have a smaller development curve than the Red Bull, than the Mercedes, than the Ferrari, than the Aston Martin. But they're not going to close the second. So they'll close as the season goes on. And like I said, this is the strongest Red Bull will be all season. But they're really, really strong. Like, really strong. So what we're doing is we're running a non-Max Verstappen and non-Sergio Perez championship as well. And that's something that we're going to, you know, keep updated throughout the year. I'm making my own personal non-Red Bull championship because they're just too quick. And also, genuinely, it will be a great battle between all of the rest of that sort of upper midfield next year. Not next year, sorry, for the rest of the season. You know, the battle that we're going to have between Alonso, Hamilton, Russell, Stroll when he's eventually fully fit. Really not sure he should have raced today. He seemed a little bit off the pace. But I guess it's good experience in the car for now. But yeah, I tell you. Alonso leading, Williams double point. Guy gotta go sleep. I have a physics exam tomorrow, and McLaren dunking is making me crazy now. Yeah, McLaren was a tough one there, but really good luck in the physics exam. Really good luck. I'm going to watch IndyCar in 5 minutes, so I'll leave stream. Yeah, no worries there at all. I will also... wait, is the IndyCar race on? And how are they doing the IndyCar race, actually? Is it just not on TV, or are they showing it somewhere else? because you know my whole I'm gonna try to watch. Yeah, they've got it on Sky Sports Action. Right, I might also put that on the side because I am actually trying a little bit to follow it this year. The Merc is 1 second slower than Red Bull, and perhaps 0.3 seconds slower than Ferrari and Aston Martin. Yeah. So right, okay. The way we see it, Red Bull, they still have the raw pace and they still have the sort of degradation that made them really strong last year. The race performance and the qualifying performance still really strong. Ferrari still have the qualifying performance, but they still suffer from the same degradation problems and reliability problems as last year. Mercedes, it's an improvement on the start of last year. They'll get closer come the end of the year. They'll be battling Ferrari in a few races' time very comfortably. Aston Martin looks good. Looks very good in the race. I think when Stroll, gets fully fit and he's racing, they might be cooking. They might actually do quite well. But the Red Bull's just so quick. McLaren, what the hell was that? Makes me want to cry. Piastri's car just stops working altogether. Lando's car has the pneumatic issue and they need to keep putting all of the pressurized air in and stuff. 5-stop race. I mean, it was a bold strategy from McLaren. Not surprised it didn't pay off. But when they were out there, albeit on fresher tyres, they were able to keep a very solid pace up. So at least there's a positive spin I can have on this as a McLaren fan. It's not a massive positive spin, but it's a positive spin, and I'm going to choose to roll with that, okay? Because, overall, that was pretty stinky. That was, no, it wasn't pretty. It was incredibly, incredibly stinky. Yeah, not looking forward to 11 days' time. Well, actually, maybe I am. They might get the car better from that point, but I don't know. Third, karma for Daddy Rick. I know, Katie, you're evil. Should I do a rookie rankings? Yeah, I think that would be pretty good, actually. I think Logan Sargent today performed really well. Really, really, impressed by Logan Sargent. Wasn't expecting him to do as well as he did, and fair play. I mean, also the Williams was really quick. What was it? Albon just in the end sneaking a point, 0.6 seconds ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, who was closing in for that whole last stint. I was like, this is a battle to watch, but it's not quite happened, unfortunately. But yeah, the Merc just seems so much slower. You will get wooden spoon. I will at this rate, yeah. I mean, I had both the Haas drivers. I'm absolutely done for. What was that? What was that, Haas? You showed pace in practice. Your race pace wasn't bad. What the hell went wrong? But, Max Verstappen and Alonso did really well. Perez really well. I've got the top three. This team will still score really well. It's just obviously a shame with Hülkenberg and Magnussen, who absolutely stunk the place out. But Magnussen gained places, so he'll even get a couple of points anyway because of how it works. Really, it's Hülkenberg that's let me down today, and I don't think I can forgive him. I think he's out the team. He's out the team. Yeah, so we'll find out all the fantasy updates at 6. So we'll actually probably still be live, maybe, as long as we sort of have enough stuff to talk about around that time. So we'll stay live, I guess, until the fantasy leagues all update. And we'll take a look at what that's done to all of the standings and who is on target to win the wooden spoon and the trophy, of course, for the actual winner. But yeah, no, it's not looking great. Well, okay, so who else we got? Alpine, that was stinky. That was also incredibly stinky. Pierre Gasly, probably my driver of the day on balance. He did a really, really good job to get that car up to where it was with everything that went wrong in that race for him. What else? Who else, really? Haas, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Alfa Romeo seemed okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. Aston Martin faster than Ferrari on race pace since Leclerc seemed faster, but we don't know if Alonso might have caught him in. Yeah, so I wanted to look at this, but obviously I don't have access to like a graph that has all the times on it. I do want to see though if someone could sort of take a look at the trajectory of where the times were going and see if Alonso had any chance of catching Leclerc. Because it was a fairly sizable gap. I think it was around 10 seconds, wasn't it, between Sainz and Leclerc? But equally, Fernando was closing quick, and he did pull a big gap on Carlos afterwards. There is rankings here, but I think that's for the rankings are from qualifying, I think. P1 Alonso, P2 Charles, P3 Hamilton, P4 Stroll, P5 Russell, P6 Sainz, non-Red Bull Championship. Yeah, we are running a non-Red Bull Championship this year that I will be updating. We can have a little channel for that in the Discord, because that's gonna be rough. That is going to be very, very, very rough this year. Yeah, I expected Red Bull to be quick. I said before the stream, probably Red Bull 1-2, or at least Max was going to walk it. But no, that Red Bull's quick. That Red Bull is very, very quick. What's it? Williams undisappointment. There you go. Hey mate, hello SHD. How you doing? What a race, baby! What a race! So everyone, let's get a ranking here. Let's get a ranking out of okay, we did 5 for qualifying, but let's do 10 for the race. We've got a ranking out of 10 for the race. I'm giving that, based on the lack of battle for the win, but good battles generally everywhere else, a 6. For Bahrain, it was pretty disappointing, but really, if there was a good battle for the lead, if Verstappen wasn't in that race and Perez, if there was no Red Bulls in that race, we're looking at like an 8 or a 9, like a bit of a classic sort of thing with the comeback, the win at the end, sort of, really good. Unfortunately, I think we are going to be in this position quite a few times this year, where it is just the Red Bulls, especially early on in the season, where they're going to sort of drive off, win the race quite comfortably, but then we're going to be left with a brilliant free 4-way battle for third. So the podium battle will be a fun one this year. The battle for that third place, going to be good, going to be fun to watch. Everything else, maybe less so, but the midfield looked great. There was a lot of long-lasting battles through the midfield. We also got quite a lot of battles given there was no safety car in the midfield. So again, that's really encouraging. There was encouraging bits of this race, there's bits of it that show this could be a good season. The only problem is the Red Bull's just so quick. It's not just quick, it is so quick. Massive. By when do you think Ferrari, Aston Martin, Mercedes might catch up? I don't think so anymore. I don't. Look, they're starting the season with a second a lap advantage nearly over the Mercedes. That's just... Mercedes won't close that in, surely. Ferrari, it's more like a sort of 6/10 gap, 7/10 gap a lap. That's doable, but we've never seen Ferrari closing a gap that big throughout the course of a season, especially not for the last sort of 2 decades. So, unsure we'll see that. Aston Martin, yeah, they've got a lot more development time, but is there a lot of scope for development in that design? Don't know with Aston Martin, don't know. Hopefully there is, but again, they're a good... To be fair, Alonso wasn't lapping much slower than Max come the end of the race, so maybe that's a more encouraging sign on that one, but it's still it's overall not great, is it? It's really not great. For when we talk about exactly a battle for the win, yeah, it's not gone too hot. So what's Alonso doing at the end of the race? So he was on so Alonso even at the end of the race was about a second off of what Max was doing. On only 2 lap older tyres, about 7/10 off what Perez was doing at the end of the race. So yeah, that sort of performance and get it. Did the stream just lag for a minute there? Oh, did that lag? I don't know. But yeah, I think, I was just hoping it would be more of a half a second a lap gap from Red Bull, and to be fair, I didn't think it would be any more than half a second, but it actually looks more like it's about 7/10 to the Ferrari. So yeah, I am not particularly encouraged by that for the entertainment value this season. I think we might give Max a championship now, but you never know. We've had races where sometimes a car comes out, looks really, really strong in the first race, then we get to all the other tracks at very different circuits. We've got Saudi Arabia, very different track to Bahrain. You've got Miami, all of those sorts of... there's a lot of tracks that are really different to Bahrain. Maybe different cars will be stronger there and the gap won't be so big. Fingers crossed that is the case, because my voice struggling. No, I feel all right, to be honest. Throat's all right at the moment. give it about half hour, I'll be gone. But P3's a new P1 from now on. Yeah, that's how we're gonna take it. I mean, what are you even meant to do against Red Bull? Like, they're not reachable. It's basically over. Yeah, I mean, that was really quick. Normally, if a team dominates first race, you're sort of like, yeah, I mean, okay, but we can go to the next race. No, that was like a second a lap. That was quick. And unfortunately, it looks like Ferrari have too many problems. Reliability, again, a concern, which just annoyed me more than anything. Mercedes just categorically aren't quick enough. They're having to switch their philosophy in Azerbaijan. Aston Martin, look, they're not going to compete for a championship in their first year being competitive. Let's just not even expect. I don't even want to include them because it sounds like they've failed, but they haven't. I don't even want to include them in that list of potentials because that's not what they're doing this year. Joke of the day, Ocon. Yeah, I mean, that's just gone horrendously wrong. That's just gone absolutely awfully. I might change the stream to just Ocon Disaster Class. Ocon Disaster Class. Red Bull Dominance. There you go. Ocon though. What happened with Ocon? So he went past the line at the start of the race, where he's allowed to start, which is horrific. And then you have, what was it? Then it was them, the Alpine team working too quickly on his car because they had to change the front wing, and then you had to. And then you had the problem of him speeding into the pit lane while coming in to serve the 10-second penalty, while coming to do 5-second penalty. So they both messed up on that first serving. And then that meant there was a 10-second penalty to be applied with a further 5 seconds on top of that, which meant that it was a 15-second penalty. Poor Esteban. Poor Esteban. Yeah, that could have gone better. Could have gone better from an Alpine and Esteban Ocon point of view. But wow. The regulations that have found to do their job. How can Formula 1 say that regulations are working? Red Bull are second ahead of Mercedes and one. I mean, no, again, it's not even the regulations failing. It's just Red Bull creating such a quick car. The other teams are failing. It's not the regulations that are failing. How many cars got lapped in that race? That was a completely uninterrupted safety car race. How many people got lapped? Only up to 11th. A completely uninterrupted race from no safety car influence whatsoever. That's not that bad. That's not horrific. Like, that's not terrible. There we go. I've actually got this set up now. That's not that bad, if I'm being honest. Like, that could have been a lot worse. There we go. Aha, we got the track map now. There we go. No, don't do that. There we go. Cool. So yeah, I mean, if we take a look at this sort of stuff, then, I mean, obviously you can see just how much even, actually why is that not, they've changed the format for the race. So hang on, this is the first time I've put this on here, so I'm just, playing around with it to get it to work the first time. So there we go. So yeah, obviously what we've ended up with, Zhou grabbing the fastest lap at the end of the race, so massive fan of that. Fair play, Zhou Guan Yu. I like to see that from you. So yeah, that was pretty good. What else have we got? What else have we really got from the field here? So Alonso obviously did great, but he was about a second a lap off come the end of the race. So that's just how quick that Red Bull was today. Max on last lap, a second quicker than Alonso, who was apparently the nearest threat. So it doesn't look great. That's the wrong one. There we go. It doesn't look great. A little bit concerned about all of that, to be honest. I feel like the championship is basically already Red Bull's. Like, it's basically already wrapped up. But as Jensen Button says here, congrats, guys. Williams. What a performance from Williams today. Absolutely brilliant job. Yeah, Crystal saying we've done it the best possible way. Yeah, you've got the quick. Calm down. Don't make the best car anymore. Please just stop. Total Wolf saying there was not a single positive thing we can take from this race. We're lacking pace, the drivers have to push, and that's hurting the tyres. Red Bull is on another planet. Aston Martin has the second quickest car. It's a real wake-up call for us, and he's, yeah, spot on with all of that, to be honest. What was I saying? Albon P10, Williams are back, potentially. It's looking good. They had good pace. But, yeah. Williams on disappointment, yeah. A non-laps regulation, damn. One day, Max will lap everyone, even... No, he won't. Like, no, the grid is sort of closer, right? You know, it's only 20... Oh, it's the interval, to be fair. But if we look at the gap to leader, it's only... Like, yeah, okay, that looks bad, and it is bad, but we have had worse races. We've had races where up to, like, 7th was lapped. You know, we have had some really, really dominant races before, even in the last couple of seasons. So, if this is the most dominant it gets, which I think it might be, because this should theoretically be Red Bull's strongest race of the season, then okay. You know, we might be in for some better races, but I still think fundamentally Red Bull should be able to quite comfortably be in a phenomenal position for the rest of this year. You know, they should be... They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Ferrari being Ferrari, still got to find, give Fred at least 2. Yeah, no, exactly. That's the thing. No, anything that's happening right now wrong with Ferrari is not Fred Vasseur's fault, unless it's a strategy issue, you know, those sort of things. Basically, Binotto said, yes, this year's car is my last gift to Ferrari. Yeah, and it's still incredibly unreliable, so well done, Harry Potter. You did a great job. Poor Mattia. He could not magic up a good engine, could he? Well, hey. Can we talk about how it never fails with Ferrari? I would like to dance on their grave. It's horrific, isn't it? It's so bad. see Ferrari breaking down, you're just like, yep, F1's back. That was genuinely my response. Second I saw it wasn't, oh my god. It was just, yeah, used to this. It didn't feel weird at all. I think subconsciously expecting it. In my head, I'm like, yeah, no, they've fixed the problem. It's fine. Then it actually happens. I'm like, no, this makes sense. I can see that happening. Marcus McLaren, Merc, Red Bull fan. Bro, McLaren just brought... Oh my god, it was horrendous. Absolutely blooming awful. From a McLaren point of view, didn't enjoy that race. Piastri thought he was putting in some good moves. He got some good overtakes in, he was racing pretty well. Looked like he actually had some pace even, dare I say. And then they had to change the steering wheel. Engine just cut off. All the electronics seemed to die. Ferrari, it was an engine issue, so hopefully the electric store, the ES, that we'd seen applied before the race is fine, because if that other one wasn't, and their second one's just died, that means they're getting a grid penalty come the second race of the season. So, yeah, it doesn't look great. I'm a Merc fan, sadly. Hey, be happy with what you got today. I'm a McLaren fan. I want to cry right now. I am close to giving up. Hopefully we get more race pace, because at this point we might lose third place to Aston Martin. Yeah, potentially. I think Aston Martin on race pace is the second quickest car. On race pace. Performance-wise, I think they're probably third. I think Ferrari edges them on performance. Mercedes are just fourth quickest, I think, on both fronts. But they should catch Ferrari on race pace fairly soon, if I'm being brutally honest. So Ferrari, assuming they don't improve a lot, look really poor on race pace. It's like the problems that they had last year are still there, but worse. So yeah, no, it's not looking good for them at all. I was on the edge of my seat with Aston Martin. I know, I tell you what, I might just become an Aston Martin fan this year, because I was cheering along Alonso. I don't normally say on here who I was cheering along, but I just want to see it. It's a new team up there, and if we're if the established teams aren't going to be performing well, like Mercedes and Ferrari, then we need another team to come up there and just try to throw something a little bit different in. So that's why I was really sort of cheering on Fernando. So yeah, we'll see. Charles saying Red Bull seemed to have found something really big during the race pace. In terms of quali pace, they're actually pretty similar to us. I agree with that. I think Charles actually had a real chance at pole last week. At pole yesterday in the qualifying, if he'd have gone for it. But then we come out of the race and we're a second every lap off the pace, which is huge. Yeah, it is. I mean, the Red Bull race pace is just it's immense. It's just so good. Whatever they have done in Milton Keynes, it's something. It's really something. So we have the provisional race classification here. I'll leave that on screen for a little bit. If I can try to center it up a little. I'll zoom out a bit. There we go. There goes. That worked. Yeah, there or thereabouts. We'll just leave off the points. So yeah, we've got Verstappen obviously dominating that in the end. 11.9 second lead over Perez. And obviously for Checo, that's not a bad result. Obviously Max was probably coasting a little bit come the end of the race because he'd won. But that's good for Checo, because he spent a lot of the early part of the race stuck behind a Ferrari and lost 5 or 6 seconds. So if Checo's only, 5 or 6 seconds off of Max at the end of each race, then that's pretty good. And we might have at least the facade of some kind of competition. And there was a bit where Checo was actually closing in on Max as well, so it's all right. You can upgrade your car concept for next season all you want, but so will Red Bull. Might as well give Max and Red Bull trophies too. No, I'm not sure about that, because I do... Sorry, oh god, that was horrific. I do think still each year we are going to see look, come the end of this year, the grid will be closer. There's no way Red Bull can keep that gap throughout the whole year, and this should be the strongest that Red Bull are going to be at any point this season. So yeah, there's a hint of that. And Red Bull are going to win the championship this year. They're going to walk both championships, especially because we are in a situation where in the early part of the season they're going to be able to pump in a lot of 1-2s, 1-3s, 2-3s, that sort of region. Whereas you have Mercedes, Ferrari and Aston Martin who are going to be splitting each other up a lot, which is going to make it hard to consistently score. So Red Bull, I think, would have won the championship comfortably in that sort of first half of the season, and they could probably not score any points, just simply because Ferrari and Mercedes and Aston Martin will keep taking points off of each other. They won't actually be able to consolidate enough of a base to grow those points. So yeah, they've basically won. Red Bull's current dominance reminds me of the Merc years. Yeah, and it is comparable. We get dominant years in F1. That's just how it goes. It's unfortunate. 2021 was at the end of a regulation cycle, and I think by the time we get 2 or 3 years from the end of this regulation cycle, we'll be on a similar boat, probably with more teams because of the budget cap being involved. So the future's bright, but this year, and I don't want to get too gloomy after one race, because it genuinely might just be the Red Bull car just suits Bahrain, you know. It might be a case where that car is just absolutely perfect for this track, and it's not strong everywhere else. We don't know yet. We don't know. I have a decent guess that it will be strong everywhere else, but we don't know for sure. So I don't want to get too gloomy until, you know, we see Saudi Arabia, until we see Australia, because they're very different types of tracks. So yeah, we'll see. Scenario 1, driver laps everyone, and there is a safety car, and driver 2 overtakes driver 1 after safety car. Do you think it's fair? I mean, yeah, because it's an aspect of the sport. You can say whether it's deserved. That's a different one. But, like, you know, it's fair. It's in the rules sort of thing. If you're making an if you're alluding somewhat to... Wait, so you're saying driver laps everyone. There's a safety car. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, that's how it works. I mean, you could say, wow, they were really robbed by that safety car. That's really unlucky. But it's the same way a driver could DNF through reliability from a really good position. So, you know, it's still fair. I missed 2005 to 2009 period. Yeah, I started in 2008, but I was like 6 at the time. So, yeah, I couldn't really do much younger than that. Also, the reduced wind tunnel time should affect Red Bull's 2024 car. Exactly. Yes. But slightly less now, because I think they realise they've got a car now that's going to comfortably win them the championship. So they are going to shift some of their future plans more towards next year's car with their limited wind tunnel time, compared to what they maybe would have done if they had to really fight for it this year. Because of how big the gap is at the moment, Red Bull, despite the limited track running, despite the limited CFD time, this is what I do in the videos, you know. I edit all of this out, but it goes horribly wrong. Normally chuck in a swear or two as well, but we're on stream. We are live. I can't do that. It basically means that they can, because of their advantage from this race, and probably that they've got going forwards now, they can apply more of their very limited time to next year's car, where they maybe wouldn't have been able to last time. So, yeah, that's a real shame. I was going to do Max dominates Bahrain Grand Prix. That's the wrong one. Alonso takes P3 and disaster for McLaren, Alpine, and Haas, who I would say are the biggest losers from all of this today, because it didn't go well. What happened to Haas? What happened to them? Because it was so bad. I don't know where all the race pace went. It was just absolutely awful. I'm going to try to turn the lights up. Would it look better if all the lights are up? Oh, no, it's down. I guess get some... Whoa! It will focus eventually, won't it? There we go. That looks better. That looks better than when it's a really dark room. Hopefully the light... Hopefully that fixes itself. It might. I don't know. I'm telling you back down. That's absolutely horrific, and I think probably nightmare fuel for a lot of you as well, unfortunately. Duracell battery did give Albon the boost. It was. I love the Duracell bit. That's potentially one of the smartest bits of like advertising I've seen on F1 car. I just love it. I love the Duracell battery bit. It's so good. But yeah, I mean, overall, let's get... Okay, so what was the... Let's get a driver of the day poll up, actually. I want to see what you guys make of your driver of the day predictions, sort of. Well, not predictions, but driver of the day results. Driver of the day. This could be the official RaceBeacon driver of the day. My nominations that I'm putting forward are Alonso, Gasly, I guess Verstappen, because he won the race so comfortably. It's a boring one, but he did. And who else sort of overachieved? Maybe Albon is a... Oh no, Bottas gained a lot of places. So Bottas might be... Do we want Albon or Bottas? Is that... Yeah, okay, we've had a... Oh, okay, so we've got Albon and Bottas. We've got a shout for both. The next one is what I'm putting in. So we've had Albon and Bottas so far. Whichever one is the next comment I see is going in. That's how this is going to work. Both. I can't do both, really, because Gasly deserves it. Alonso deserves it. Albon. Okay, we got an Albon. We got an Albon. Albon's going in. There we go. That's it. We're a democracy. This is how this works. So I guess this is the... There we go. That's working. So yeah, our driver of the day. This is the RaceBeacon driver of the day vote. We've got Alonso, Gasly, Verstappen, and Albon. Those are the options. Let's see what you guys made of that race. See how that all went. Remove Max. I can't remove Max, though, because he... It's the boring vote, but he won the race very, very comfortably today. And, I'm completely aware no one's going to vote for him because it's such a boring one. But, he deserves to be on there. He deserves to be nominated. So yeah, there's that. There's the finishing results. I want to see some of the more media quotes we're getting. Alonso P3. What we've got here, Kevin's the number one fan. Was that? Kevin! Yeah, good man, good man. I mean, you were absolutely arsed today, mate, but fair play, fair play. You can dance, you can jive. Charles Leclerc estimated Ferrari was 1 second perhaps slower than Red Bull. Well, I mean, that's not an estimation. They were categorically that much slower. That was horrific today. Didn't see Max on TV after the start. I know. He's just had nothing to do whatsoever. Perfect race for him. Perfect race. The Aston Martin engineers were literally shaking mid-race. I know. They're not used to it. This is a big thing for them. This is a really, really big thing. Vasseur had just said to Sky Germany that he believes it's a power unit issue, not a hydraulic issue, which is actually probably worse, to be honest. I think they'd have preferred it to be a hydraulics issue rather than the power unit, because a lot of the things they're suffering with... Actually, they suffered with both hydraulic and power unit last year, so to be honest, they're both awful. But yeah, I mean, it's just, for Ferrari, the reliability concerns back again. Back again. It's bad, isn't it? It's really, really bad. Because this is the one thing they had to stamp out this year if they didn't have to turn the engines down. Strikes again. There we go. Yeah, I mean, this is the one thing they had to get fixed, was their reliability, and they have clearly shown in the first race. They still can barely do a full race distance without breaking down, unless it was just really, really unlucky timing. I don't know. Gasly for literally gaining 11 places. I know he did such a good job, Gasly. He's probably my driver of the day, to be honest. I don't like doing it because he's French, driving for a French team, and we don't like the French. But no, genuinely, yeah, he did a great job. He did a great job today. This track absolutely did not suit Mercedes, so maybe they could be... Yeah, and that's the thing. We saw the Mercedes wasn't as strong on these sort of race tracks, I mean, obviously, you've got to build a car that's meant to be, but, yeah, they didn't look as strong on race tracks last year either, so maybe they'll be better. Stroll did an amazing job. Yeah, he did a really really good job, to be fair to him. Can't really have a go at him for anything that he did. I don't think he did anything badly, The man's driving with a broken toe and broken wrist. I can't blame him for... I can't have a go at him too much. I will say turn 4, that was way too ambitious on the brakes from him. Yes, Alonso took a bit of a tighter line, but that was way too ambitious from Stroll on the brakes. That's really all I can fault him for. He beat the drivers he had to beat this weekend. George Russell, exactly, who dropped a little bit of a stinker, actually. George did drop a little bit of a stinker today. Last French driver people respect are lazy. Yeah, there you go. Hamilton really showed who was boss in the... Yeah, I mean, George just didn't look strong today whatsoever. There was... Yeah, he just didn't. He just didn't look strong. There was nothing really on show from him. They didn't mess up the strategy or anything. He just suffered with a tyre where more than Lewis did. Early on in the race, he actually looked like he had a little bit of an advantage. Then it fell off quite quickly. Russell, not that good. He's only lucky. I mean, he does get some lucky results, but it's not that bad. What's that? Who's having a go at Sean? Don't be mean to Sean. Oh, they've gone private. They got called out and they've gone private. On Canal Plus, Vasseur said maybe the new components, the CE and ES that they changed today, can be saved. Well, they'll be hoping so, because if the control electronics are gone again, they're going to be in for a penalty in the second race of the season. They're going to be getting a grid drop, which is so Ferrari. That is so unbelievably Ferrari, but I don't want it to happen. Lance Stroll says he was initially told it would be until Australia or Baku to make his F1 comeback. A very impressive drive from him to take P6. Yeah, no, he did well today. He did well. Not a cell phone site, just people living in the moment. Yep, cool stuff. I mean, to be honest, that's a pretty cool photo. If we, it's a pretty... That, normally, I fully agree. Like, when you're at a football match or something, I fully agree. But, like, that's a... It's a pretty cool photo. I don't blame them. Normally I'll join the boomer gang in going, oh yeah, they've all got their phones out. No, that's pretty cool. Alex Chair, well, yeah, that's nothing. Race highlights have F1 TV commentary. Oh, that's really interesting then. So I mean, I was shocked that F1 didn't do this anyway on their their world commentary highlights that go out on YouTube. They had the Sky comms on it. That seems really weird. But yeah, so there's big news. they're going to the F1 TV commentary, meaning I will actually watch the highlights to get a second look at the commentary, which is pretty cool. Because obviously I had no reason to watch the highlights before because I already saw the Sky commentary. Like I know what they said for each moment. Boss of Mercedes. You know what though? It's overall. What can we say? It just wasn't that great a race, was it? It was just That so much of race was just It was alright. But we're waiting for F1 Fantasy to update in about 30 minutes time. Hopefully, we'll be able to get the points from that. And then I think that's probably as long as the stream will run. Because to be honest, there's no like big ongoing post-race penalty stuff. I'm keeping an eye for if anything does come out. Verstappen through to finally win Bahrain Grand Prix after a crushing drive. So here, these are the race deleted times. So let's just see who, went off track a lot. Hulkenberg obviously pick up that 5-second penalty because he went off track 5 times in total. So they were gone. Lando was off, I think, 3 times. Yeah, Lando was off 3 times. Nico Hulkenberg, Nick De Vries. Did De Vries only have 1? No, De Vries had 2 actually, so he was a little bit close on track limits, but yeah, it's not anything too big there, I don't think. So did Hulkenberg maybe pick up a second penalty? Do you pick up a second? Oh no, you get 3. Does it go 3 warnings, then a official warning, then a penalty, or is it 2 like deleted lap times, then a official warning, then a penalty? I can't remember if it's 4 for a penalty or 5 for a penalty. I can't remember which way around it is. Yeah, Lance Stroll saying just amazing way to start the season. Well, it could have been better. You should have been really on the pace of your car, fighting Carlos and Lewis. But you were a couple of seconds off. A 3 warning, then the flag. Right. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, 3 plus 1 plus penalty. Cool. Yeah. So it's 5. Okay. So yeah, Hulkenberg didn't get a second penalty. He just got the 1 penalty. Not so cool. That's exactly what I'm saying. Prediction time. What do you think the podium will be in Bahrain? What do you have there? So Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Alonso. I think I did 3 separate position predictions. I think I put Alonso in the podium in one of them, so I'm sort of close. Am I allowed to be pissed about the commentary? Depends which one you were listening to. If it's Sky, probably, to be honest, but it depends what for. If it's something that's just completely random, probably not. But if it's something valid, yes, go for it. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so it's 3 warnings, then the flag, then the penalty. Cool, thank you very much for that. I couldn't remember if it was 3, if it's 4 or 5 before the pen. But yeah, I mean that was the race on a whole was just a little bit So are these standings? The standings must be out now. So if we take a look at the driver standings first, obviously it's just a race. Yeah, it's all been updated. So Pierre Gasly, only 2 points. It was going to be 3 before Zhou Guanyu crossed the line. Oh, there was 17 finishers. You guys beat me on that one by 1 finish. Oh, you guys are lucky. So you got that. VSCs or safety cars. There was only 1 VSC, so we both get nothing for that one because there was only 1 VSC, no safety car at all. Which team will have a higher finishing driver, Ferrari or Aston Martin? I got that one right. We're 2-all. Fan points. So go do that, and then Brad points. There we go. So we're 2-all. We're 2-all at the moment. Because we got a 0-0 on our guess for how many VSCs there would be because we drew. So no one gets a point for that one. We are 2-2 after the first race weekend. It's close. It's close though. When one of us pull out a 5-point lead, it's season over. It's like the actual season. This is actually going to be more entertaining and more competitive than the real life Formula 1 season. So that's why you want to stick around here. What the advantage of Aston Martin own manufacturer unit? What do you mean? I genuinely don't know what you mean from that. Do you mean like them manufacturing their own parts or like them manufacturing their own power unit? Because that's not something they've done. Piastri, I'm not 100% sure what was wrong. We thought it was the steering wheel based on what was happening, but it wasn't that, so we'll diagnose what was wrong. He's instantly regretting his career choices. So in the end, no one went for the soft, hard, soft, which is what we thought some people might do. We got a lot of soft, hard. We got a lot of that across the grid. We got a few of those. Sargent, obviously, these guys pitted under the virtual safety car because the timing was sort of right for that. But yeah, that's interesting. What's the? I mean, since 1980, works teams do tend to win. Yeah, that's just how it goes though. But I think equally a lot of that came from the works teams tended to have more money because they were big manufacturers. So I don't think they tended to win because they were, obviously it helps because you could design your engine around your car what works, whereas Aston Martin will have to design it around what Mercedes say works, and they may be doing a bit of a trade-off here or there. They've basically got to make what Mercedes give them fit into their car the best. That's sort of how that has to work. So yeah, there's advantages to being, a manufacturer team. Massive advantages in that sense. But overall, I wouldn't say it's like directly because they're a manufacturer. It's more like they just tended to have more money in the past. So that was what went on with all of these strategies during the race. We did say there'd be 2 stops and 3 stops. Norris trying the 5 stop. That was a interesting strategy. Didn't play out. Shocked to hear. I'm not sure about Brawn though. Yeah, Brawn weren't manufactured, were they? What engine did Brawn have in the car? I genuinely don't know. What engine did Brawn have in the car? Because I know obviously they came Mercedes, but did they have They must have had a Mercedes in the car, didn't they? Oh god, it was an 8 stop. Oh dear god. Oh yeah, because it was BAR Honda, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry. Was it Mercedes or Honda? What engine did Brawn have? Mercedes. Okay, they were the engine. They were Mercedes. Honda previously called time Formula 1. Oh yeah, of course. Honda pulled out in 2008 with a financial crisis. Do you? Yeah. That's a big crash in IndyCar. Oh dear, that's 4 or 5 cars completely and utterly destroyed. Well, that's not gone particularly well, has it? Oh, and they're completely blocking the racetrack as well. That could have gone better. Why didn't we get that in F1? That's exciting. You can really see how much Ferrari ate the tyres. Yeah, no, and the Ferrari deg. This again, I love it when we're proved right. We were talking about the Ferrari deg before the stream starting. I'll be honest though, I didn't see it being as bad as that. It was really bad. Ferrari really suffering with tyre deg. What crash? Oh, in the IndyCar. In IndyCar, there's been a really big crash. I think there's 4 or 5 cars involved in that. I think 5 cars. Aston Martin knew what you say industry for 2024. I meant, what you mean like the new facilities that they've got in for 2024? Which will make a massive impact. That will. All their new facilities and, all of that sort of stuff that they're getting online, that's going to make a massive impact on their season. Yeah. Fernando's doing good. My prediction for him was P2, but P3 I can live with. Yeah, I mean, I think P2... Look, before the race, I don't think any of us expected Red Bull to be that dominant. I obviously have been saying all weekend Verstappen's going to win the race, but I genuinely thought it would only be about half a second a lap sort of thing. Not a second. Not a full second. Oh, someone got spun and then... Okay, I see what happened there. Oh, they hit the wall on the outside and then... Some behind lost it. Ooh, just took out loads of cars there. They were left with nowhere to go. Ooh, that's a really... Oh, wow. That was an airborne car. Okay. Yeah, that was a big crash. Hopefully they're all right, because that was a really big T-bone. Sort of got T-boned and actually sent the other car into the air. That was... I don't think I've seen that happen from a T-bone before. That is... Yeah, okay. I hope he's all right. Wait, actually, Brawn is the last custom engine team to win World Championship. I wasn't sure, though. I feel like they get it for free. Yeah, slightly. Did they get it for free in the end? I know there was like some kind of deal to get it all working, but yeah, I can't remember the whole thing. Yeah, red flag. So definitely De Francesco's car went airborne, so it's De Francesco. Hopefully he's okay, because that was a really big crash. Oh, look at this! Look at this! It just makes me happy. It just makes me happy. It's like the amount of things that have gone wrong for him in the past, just to finally get a move that actually works, is just so nice. Like, it's just happy. I feel happy for him. There's a reason why Max didn't race in F2. Yeah. God, that's a big crash. There you go. That's nice. That's nice of him at least. He'll get quite a lot more podiums this year. He'll get a fair few podiums. Oh, what's the score? Oh, Liverpool winning. Nice. There goes my £5 free bet on Man United winning the league. Come on, lads. Pull it back. Pull it back. Oh, it's 2-0 now. Never mind. Okay. Yep, there goes that prediction. Cool. What's all this? So we're having a go. How many drivers have failed extraction tests at first attempt? I'm just curious. Obviously, everybody's an expert now, so how many? Disruption on broken race first. Yeah, I mean, I still think the FIA letting Stroll race after him failing the extraction test the first time, that's really bad. Like, that's really bad for me. It did exist. Yeah, I mean, that is true. GP2 then. Yeah, it's just nice. I do like seeing Fernando back at the top again. What's this? What the F1 drivers drove to Bahrain. Ha! It's got fun. Okay, so what we're doing basically is waiting for the F1 Fantasy standings to update, which hopefully they will fairly soonish. And it means we can sort of go over those and sort of see who's winning. See who's winning our F1 Fantasy League. If you haven't joined our F1 Fantasy League and you would quite like to, it's still the top link in the description. So there you go. If you want to join that, you still can. If you want to join Discord server as well, if you are fairly new around here. Appreciate YouTube's clearly just not pushing this stream very much, which, I don't know, it's the YouTube lottery. It's good fun. Not doing a lot this one. But then also, it was a very controversial race. It's a pretty boring race, so I don't blame people for not actively wanting to consume more of it after it ended. I really don't blame you. Where do I see RaceBeacon standing F1 Fantasy? So where do you see the standings for F1 Fantasy? So that's in the league section. For this, you'll have to go to View All on the public league, and you'll be able to find it on RaceBeacon Fantasy League 2023. And you can see, this is from qualifying, how the points stood. But it will obviously be different when the race points are applied. Mostly because I will drop like an absolute stone. Because Nico Hulkenberg, what was that? Haas, what were you doing? I thought Hulkenberg might stay in the points. And like Magnussen would be able to put up a bit of a fight. No, what was that fit? Oh my dear God. Haas, man. You've screwed me over. Screwed me over so hard on fantasy. They're both getting replaced. They're both getting replaced very quickly, if I'm being brutally honest here. They're gone. Aston Martin P2 Constructors sounds good as well. Yeah, no, that's really good for them. It's really good. You were 1 year early, mate. 2017 is the first year of F2. It was, yes. Yeah, GP2 to Formula 2. Honestly, I genuinely didn't know it was that far back. Like, I remember them making the switch and going like, oh, I don't like it. Why? I was doing my normal, oh, I don't like change sort of thing. But no, I mean, it's a good change to make. Haas team going to get a name change. Just Haas. With ASS in it. Yeah, Haas to win. I'm just completely renaming the team and getting rid of all the Haas drivers because that was appalling. That was so bad from Haas. I need to hear from Gunter. What has gone wrong there? That is ridiculous. Alonso's going to get his 100th career podium this season. That's pretty cool. That's nice for him. Yeah, he won't have to wait long. Yeah, he won't. A lot of cool pictures from this. A lot of really cool pictures from the end there. Like they went all out on this. It looks very cool. It looks very cool. That's a cool photo. That's a wallpaper photo. That just looks cool as well, to be honest. That also just looks... I mean, that looks weird, to be honest. I don't really like that. That looks cool. That's a cool photo. That looks too, like, blocky. I don't really like that. Hasu could get your shit, yeah. Don't get used to it. Hornet's Red Bull warning despite Bahrain 1-2, saying don't get you. Are you sure? I know this is clickbait, but I really need to hear what his quote was here. So it's only a sample of one and all. Okay, yeah, no, fair, yeah. Christian, you're gonna win, lad. Stop pretending you're not going to. Karun Chandok saying utterly dominant by Red Bull Racing. First time they've won the opening race of the year since 2011, which is ominous. Congrats to Aston Martin. In my Autosport column before testing, I predicted they would be the dark horse surprise of the season. Glad I was right. So was I. I was right as well. I'm very happy. What can I say? I'm a good engineer. Nick Vries spoke about I can't even translate that. Anyone want to speak Dutch? Because Twitter won't translate it for me. That's a lot of damage from that IndyCar crash. That's a strong little cars though, aren't they? Big crash though. Very big crash. But yeah, so I guess we're just sort of, 20 minutes now until the F1 Fantasy thing updates. I guess that's sort of all we're waiting for, because there's nothing going on in stewards. How have we got no post-race stewarding going on? Like, how depressing is that? I haven't even got a reason to keep you guys here. How, FIA, I don't like you. Could someone have just crashed into each other at the end, make it really interesting. What's my ranking currently in F1 Fantasy? I'm currently 25th. Yeah, so my... Yeah, 25th. So this is my main team. Like, this is a team that I'm actually focusing on. 25th. Which is not bad. I'll absolutely take that. I think I saw your teams in there, actually. So I think I did see your teams around. You're doing quite well, I believe, aren't you? You're there or thereabouts. I can't remember where you were. I definitely saw... Yeah, there you go, yeah. You're ninth on one of them. There's another one. Where's the other one? Anyway, you're doing well. You're doing well, nonetheless. 9 and 14. Nice. And 9th. Yeah, there's the other one. Yeah, sorry. I completely missed that one. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. Just Sprint Racing with a plus. Don't know what that's meant to mean, but plus to you as well. There you go. Oh, why is that not working? Okay, there we go. Cool. Right, everything else. I mean, there's genuinely just not a lot happening right now. So will be some pretty miserable faces at Merc and Ferrari after today, I guess. Aston have the same power unit and rear end as Mercedes and even use their wind tunnel, I believe, which will make Fernando passing Lewis and finishing 12 seconds ahead. So yeah, he really pulled out a gap at the end. That was amazing. Pretty painful. I can imagine it will. I can really, really imagine it will. For Mercedes, yeah, this is like worst case scenario, how well Aston Martin did. Because that shows they're being beaten by one of their customer teams. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to see at all. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's a really... Yeah, I mean, Mercedes and Ferrari, they can only be disappointed. You know, that's it really. Oh my gosh, 3-0 now for... 3-0 now for Liverpool. That is not going well for Man United. Wow, how did he get through that gap? That is crazy. Alonso will be Rookie of the Season. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure we can quite count him, but we're going to anyway. Yeah, no, I mean, Alonso's going to be in for a good season. He's going to get a lot of podiums this year. I was thinking maybe he'd only be able to get like 3 or 4 podiums this year, but time and time again, they've proven they're even quicker than I thought they were going to be. So, yeah, they're looking all right. So, yeah, good. That's really good for them. It's really nice to see, to be honest. It's really good to see. Wow, looking at this view curve, YouTube just completely tanked the stream. That's amazing. We were on track for one of our best streams out of like the return, apart from like 1 or 2 that went really well. And wow, YouTube just stopped promoting it. Fair play. Logan ain't too bad for a first GP. No, Logan did really well. He's sort of one of my outside driver of the day shouts. If I was to say there were 5 or 6 drivers who did really well today, Logan is absolutely one of them. Absolutely one of them. He did a great job. Driver of the day, Fernando Alonso. He's also our driver of the day. He's also the RaceBeacon driver of the day. But looks, we've got 54 votes on that. He has got 76% of the vote. So, yeah, I think he might have won our RaceBeacon driver of the day. Yesterday, I thought it would be 2019 Gasly all over again, but today he proved me wrong. Yeah, no, I mean, fair play to him. Fair play to him. He did really well today. I wasn't expecting him to do well today, hence why he wasn't in my fantasy team. But actually, guys who put Pierre Gasly in your fantasy team, you are going to get a lot of points. Because not only did he make up loads of positions, he also made a lot of overtakes. And you get points for both of those now. So really, actually, what you want for F1 Fantasy is to pick a driver that's going to underperform in qualifying. So maybe a Lance Stroll is a brilliant addition. So I might find a way to work Lance Stroll into this and put like Logan Sargent, someone like that. That might be my 2 that I replace them with here. Because the Haas drivers, my God, what was that, man? It was so poor from the Haas drivers. I'm really upset from that because I was expecting them to do well. I really thought they'd do well. Ocon feeling heat in his tummy for El Planet. Yeah. Look, how did Ocon outscore Alonso last season? That's all I've got to say. How the hell did he do that? No, I mean, for Ocon today, it's just a lot of really unfortunate things. Obviously, he was only slightly over the yellow line on the grid, which then just set everything else off, and that's where it just went horribly wrong. But you can't be speeding in the pit lane. You just can't be doing that. Right, so here we go. We have gapped fastest in race pace. This is from Formula Stats. So I'm going to get this up on the Twitter on screen. Formula Stats. These guys. Give them a follow on here as well on this account. So this is the race pace. This is the race pace from each driver from that race. So obviously Verstappen's the one that's cut off on the left that's missed, but you don't really need him anyway. 2/10 from Perez per lap. Alonso about 7/10. Gasly, the race pace at the end. Obviously a little bit of a different strategy for Gasly. He was on fresher tyres that boosted that a little bit. Gasly only 8/10 off, really good. Sainz doing well. Norris's race pace when he wasn't in the pits was really good, and that's really encouraging because he was keeping up with the battle between Alonso, Sainz, and Hamilton. He was keeping up with that battle. So, honestly, I think I'm more positive now on the McLaren race pace than I definitely was before all of this started. Some drivers stopped under VSC for softs. That will boost the absolutely, yeah. That would boost, like, especially Gasly. And Norris's is also slightly higher because he obviously had to pit so many times, so he just had so many fresh sets of tyres. Well, got his top speed from qualifying. Actually, I didn't see this. Ferrari up there. Yeah, I guess that's about what I was expecting, to be honest. You've got the two teams with the quickest engines, and then you've got the teams that really struggle to get downforce on the car, and then you've got high downforce cars like these guys. So, yeah, that checks out. But that's cool. What's this? What's that? Not good enough to start the season from Prancing Horse. Yeah, not great, to be fair. That looks like a fun setup. They've got a studio and everything. That looks really fun. If they want to invite me there, give me a cup of tea, that'd be absolutely lovely. People who had Ferrari as a constructor, which I'm sure is a lot of people, bountiful way behind. Yeah, I mean, I never. Okay, so coming into this weekend, I thought Ferrari would have solved the reliability problems. I was under the impression they had solved them, but I don't trust Ferrari ever. I just don't trust them. I've seen enough of Ferrari in my years watching F1 to know it's going to go horribly wrong. And what happened? It went horribly wrong. It went really, really, really horribly wrong. So, yeah, I'm happy with my decision not to include them. I really considered it, and I thought just in case I'd turbo drive Leclerc on my third team, which you could just see on the right there. I was like, yeah, just in case they do well, I'll do that. That team, which is already the worst on points by quite a lot, is going to absolutely tank because it's also got Haas. Yeah, that and Lando Norris, who lost loads of play. Yeah, that team's going to do horrendously. Oh my god, that is going to be bad when this updates. It does say it's going to update at 6 o'clock. I'm going to assume it's going to update at 6 o'clock. I hope it does. Otherwise, I will just sort of end the stream if it doesn't, and then we'll sort of go over it on Discord or something. So yeah, if you are new around here, you're not a member of the Discord. If F1 Fantasy doesn't update, that's probably what we're going to do it on, because genuinely, there's just not a lot to talk about. It was such a nothing race for the most part. It's really annoying that is the case, but it's sort of how it ended up being. Do you think Red Bull at the moment are unbeatable, or will it vary from track to track? So I think the gap of how much they win by will vary track to track, but overall, yeah, there's not a lot you can do. There's not a lot we can do against them. A seconded lap, Mercedes won't catch that through the course of the season, even with development advantage, even with a philosophy change. They just won't do that. Ferrari, a good 6-7 tenths a lap, though you will really, really struggle to catch that. That's near impossible, to be honest. Aston Martin are probably equally 6-7 tenths a lap on pure pace off, and they won't catch it either. I was hoping the gap would be sort of 3-4 tenths a lap, because then we're in a position where, like I've said loads of times before this race started, we're in a position where we've got, through the development curve of the year, a lot of teams are in contention come the end of the season. Unfortunately, that's not been the case, and that's not what we're going to get. So it's a real shame, but yeah, what can you do about it? Red Bull just built a better car, you know. That's the thing, they've just got a better car this year. And that's normally how F1 goes. You know, we used to having dominant teams, so let's not be too shocked by it. Obviously, it's just disappointing because, especially through like Q1 and things like that, we're sort of thinking, oh hello, we could be in for a, you know, this season could be cooking. You know, this could be a pretty good season. Only for it to very quickly sort of fall apart into, yeah, no, it's not going to be a good season. But yeah. What was he? Loved the coverage of the dogfight for last place because it was so boring. I know, it was so bad. Do you think Red Bull at the moment are beat? But yeah, I think so, to be fair. But yeah, honestly, I don't see much point in us keeping going here, to be honest, because there's genuinely just not a lot to talk about. There'll be some sort of like more analysis that we see, and there'll be some news coming out. Obviously, over the week, there'll be like implications from this race and things like that. But at this moment in time, there's not really a lot happening or a lot to go at. Obviously, for F1 Fantasy will update soon, but is there really any point saying it? Because I can guarantee it won't update at 6 o'clock. It won't do it on time. And then, yeah. I might end the stream because, honestly, I'm also really hungry, really thirsty, and all of that sort of stuff. Because, obviously, I was streaming before, came downstairs, watched the race, then came straight back up. So, I think I honestly might end this one really early because there's just genuinely not a lot to talk about. Bye, good night, love from India. Thank you, Smirka. Thank you so much. Have a great night. And yeah, I will probably put there'll probably be a short out, maybe even tonight or something, if I think of something good to put a short out about, because the post-race shorts tend to do quite well. If not, there'll be some videos over the course of a week, maybe a live stream over the week as well. But yeah, especially with sort of how many people have got watching at the moment, it does feel a little bit pointless sort of carrying on for much longer. So any last questions that you really want to get in, sort of chuck them in now. And if not, we'll sort of head off for the evening, because like I say, there's not really a lot going on. There's no post-race penalties. We've discussed each of the teams now. But yeah. Oh, that's such a big crash in the IndyCar. That's a really bad crash. But yeah, I think we'll sort of round off then. Guys, thank you ever so much for a very short stream this time. But you know, we were able to sort of discuss some of the post-race stuff. So yeah, that's been good. But guys, until yeah, either next video, next stream, whatever we do, I'll see you guys then. Thank you ever so much, and goodbye. There we go. I have to press that one first.